Hello students, welcome to MJC Learning. Today we are going to continue our chapter Solutions of Chemistry. This is part 5 of this chapter. Earlier we have studied the second colligative property, that is boiling point elevation. Now in this video we are going to learn one more colligative property, that is freezing point depression. So let's begin. In this video, we are going to cover these following topics. First, depression in freezing point, in which we will discuss about what is freezing point and what is depression in freezing point. Second is freezing point depression as a consequence of vapor pressure lowering, which means what is the relation between freezing point depression and vapor pressure lowering. Third is freezing point depression and concentration of solute. We will discuss what is the relation between freezing point depression and concentration of solute. Molar mass of solute from freezing point depression. We will come to know how we can find molar mass of solute from freezing point depression. So first is depression in freezing point. Before going to this, let us talk about what is freezing point. The freezing point is the temperature at which liquid changes to a solid. We know that at a freezing point of a substance, the solid phase is in equilibrium with the liquid phase, so that their vapor pressure will become equal. Hence, freezing point can be defined as a temperature at which vapor pressure of a substance in its liquid phase is equal to the vapor pressure in its solid phase. So we can say that freezing point of a liquid is a temperature at which the vapor pressure of a solid is equal to vapor pressure of liquid. A solution will freeze when its vapor pressure will become equal to the vapor pressure of a pure solid solvent. So we know that when a non-volatile solute is added to a volatile liquid, the solution's vapor pressure will be lower than that of the pure solvent. As a result, the solid will reach at equilibrium with the solution at lower temperature than with the pure solvent. So in short, the freezing point of a solvent is lowered by dissolving a non-volatile solute in it. So we can say freezing point of a solution containing a non-volatile solute is lower than that of the pure solvent. If we take Tf naught is the freezing point of a pure solvent and Tf is the freezing point of a solution. So now we know that solution have lower freezing point as compared to the pure solvent. So we can write Tf naught is greater than Tf, means freezing point of a pure solvent is more than freezing point of a solution. So the freezing point depression is denoted by delta Tf, and we can write it as delta Tf is equal to Tf naught minus Tf, means depression in freezing point is equal to the difference between the freezing point of a pure solvent minus the freezing point of a solution. Similar to the lowering of vapor pressure, the depression in freezing point also depends on the solute molecule or number of solute molecule rather than their nature. So according to the definition of colligative property, freezing point depression is also a colligative property. Depression in freezing point as a consequence of vapor pressure lowering. Let us know what is the relation between freezing point depression and vapor pressure lowering. Similar to the boiling point elevation, depression in freezing point is also directly proportional to vapor pressure lowering. The variation of vapor pressure with temperature of pure liquid solvent, pure solid solvent and solution is given in this graph. So as we see, on this axis there is a vapor pressure increasing and on x axis there is a temperature. Now Vapor pressure curve AB is for solid solvent. Vapor pressure curve CD is for liquid solvent, and vapor pressure curve EF is for solution. As we also discussed in boiling point elevation that vapor pressure of a liquid solvent is more as compared to the solution at any temperature. So the curve of liquid solvent is always above to the vapor pressure curve of a solution. This part we have already discussed in boiling point elevation. Now we know that freezing point is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of a solid will become equal to the vapor pressure of a liquid phase. So AB is the vapor pressure curve for solid. We know that vapor pressure of a solid is very low, hence this curve is lie below than these two curves. So here at point B, the vapor pressure of a solid solvent and liquid solvent will become equal. So means the two form have same vapor pressure, and therefore the corresponding temperature, that is TF naught, is the freezing point of a solvent. Now when we add solute to the solvent, the vapor pressure of a solvent decreases and it will become the solution. So a new equilibrium is established at point E. So there is a new equilibrium established at point E where the vapor pressure of a solid will become equal to the vapor pressure of a solution. So this point E corresponds to the freezing point of a solution, that is TF. As we know, vapor pressure curve of a solution, that is EF, always lies below the vapor pressure curve of a pure solvent. Hence, intersection of vapor pressure curve of solution and solid means these two curves intersection is always occur only at a point lower than that of the TF. Means we know that this solution, vapor pressure of solution is lower than the liquid solvents. Hence this intersect, that is point E, is always lower than this point B. So any solution of a non-volatile solute must have freezing point lower than that of the pure solvent. So from this graph we can say that the temperature corresponding to B, that is temperature corresponding to this point, is the freezing point of a solvent, and the temperature corresponding to the E is the freezing point of a solution. And freezing point, as we see, this temperature is lower than this freezing point of a pure solvent. So freezing point of a solution is lower than that of the freezing point of a pure solvent, and the difference between these two is known as depression in freezing point. Freezing point depression and concentration of solute. The depression in freezing point is directly proportional to the lowering of vapor pressure. Hence, it is directly proportional to the mole fraction. Similar to the boiling point of elevation in our last lecture, freezing point depression is directly proportional to molality of the solution. Means depression in freezing point in a dilute solution is directly proportional to molality, that is small m of a solute present in a solution. Thus we can write delta TF means freezing point depression is directly proportional to molality, or we can write delta TF is directly proportional to Kf into m. Kf is the molar elevation constant, molar depression constant, which is a proportionality constant. So here m is the number of moles of a solute present in 1 kg of a solvent, and Kf is called as freezing point depression constant or molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant. If the solution is of 1 molar, means molarity is equal to 1, then delta TF is equal to Kf. So we can define Kf as the depression in freezing point produced when 1 mole of a solute dissolved in a 1 kg of a solvent. And standard unit for molar depression constant, that is Kf, is Kelvin kg per mole. Molar mass of solute from freezing point depression. What is the relation between and how we can find the molar mass of solute from freezing point depression? So let's begin. We know that delta TF is equal to Kf into m, means depression in freezing point is equal to Kf into molality. Let's take it as a 1. If W2 gram of a solute of a molar mass M2 is dissolved in W1 gram of a solvent, then we know that it is similar to the boiling point elevation. We have already discussed. So molality is given as number of moles of solute divided by mass of a solvent in kg. So number of moles of a solute is mass upon molar mass. So mass of the solute and molar mass of the solute, and solvent is in kg. So we will convert W1 grams into a kg. So which is equal to W1 divided by 1000 kg. Then molality, that is small m of the solution, given by the expression m. Molality is equal to number of moles of a solute, means mass of a solute divided by molar mass of solute, and divided by mass of a solvent in 1 kg, which is equal to W1 divided by 1000 kg. So we can write this as this M2 will go down and this 1000 will go up. So 1000 into W2 divided by M2 into W1 mole per kg. Substituting this value of molality in our equation 1, which is delta TF is equals to Kf into m. So value of m means this value we will put in here. So delta TF is equal to Kf into m, which is 1000 into W2 divided by M2 into W1. So now we have to find the molality of the solute, or molar mass of the solute. So this will go this side and this delta TF will come here. So we can find molar mass of solute, which is equal to Kf into 1000 into W2 divided by delta TF into W1. So we can find molar mass of a solute if we have the number of moles of a, means weight of the solute, weight of the solvent, value of delta TF and value of Kf. So we can find molar mass of solute. Now let's see one problem. 1.02 gram of urea when dissolved in 98.5 gram of certain solvent decreases its freezing point by 0.211 Kelvin. Means it is a depression in freezing point. Now 1.609 gram of unknown compound when dissolved in 86 gram of the same solvent depresses the freezing point by 0.34 Kelvin. Calculate the molar mass of unknown compound. Now we have given molar mass of urea, that is 60 gram. In this problem we don't have the value of Kf, and there is a comparison between two solutes, means first is urea and second is unknown. So let's solve this. This is the formula. We know that molar mass is equal to 1000 Kf into W2 delta Tf into W1. So first let us what are the given. First for urea and unknown compound. W2 means weight of the solute. Weight of the solute for urea is 1.02 grams and for unknown is 1.609 gram. Weight of solvent is 98.5 grams and for second 86 gram. Delta Tf means depression in freezing point for first solute is 0.211 Kelvin and for second is 0.34 Kelvin. Now we have to find the molar mass of unknown compound. Molar mass of urea is given, that is 60 gram per mole, and molar mass of unknown compound we have to find. So using this formula we don't have the value of Kf, and Kf is a constant we know, and 1000 is also constant. So we can rewrite this formula as 1000 Kf, and this all value go this side into delta Tf into W1 and W2 for urea, and for unknown compound similarly we can write 1000 Kf is equal to M2 naught dash into delta Tf dash into W1 dash divided by W2 dash. As we see, 1000 Kf and this 1000 Kf is a constant, is equal to this value, and this 1000 K is equal to this value. So these two value will become equal, as this constant and this constant is equal. So rewriting this equation we will get M2 into delta Tf into W1 divided by W2 is equal to M2 dash into delta Tf dash into W1 dash divided by W2 dash. We have to find the molar mass of a unknown compound. So let's put the values which are given. So molar mass of a urea is 60. Depression in freezing point for urea is 0.211. Weight of the solvent is 98.5 grams and weight of a solute is 1.02 gram. Here we have to find the molar mass of an unknown compound. Delta Tf value for unknown compound is 0.34. Weight of a solvent for unknown is 86 and weight of a solute is 1.609. When we calculate this, we will get, when we multiply these three, we will get 1247.01 gram Kelvin per mole divided by 1.02 gram. Here when we multiply these two, we will get 29.24 Kelvin divided by 1.609 grams. By solving these, we will get 1222.55 grams Kelvin per mole, and here this divided by this we will get 18.173 Kelvin. So we have to find the molar mass of a unknown compound. So this will go here. We will divide by, so this value is divided by this, means 1222.55 grams Kelvin per mole is divided by 18.173 173 Kelvin, which will give us the molar mass of an unknown compound. So by solving this, we will get 67.3 grams per mole. So this is the molar mass of unknown compound. Thank you.